Hello, friends and fiends. Today we are glancing at what one we call the obesity documentary. Instead, we have changed our minds so we could do a Joey documentary from Joey's World Tour. We we decided to call this Joey Now Discovered. For over 7 long miserable years, Joey has been eating at rapid, unhealthy rates in which no human could possibly even barely contain. Various detectives here have concluded that Mr. Joey isn't what he seems. Not only does he have extreme obesity and other health conditions, but he has also been said to have more than one heart, because no earthling could contain that much fat. Back in the year 2009, Joey did have his first heart attack. He obviously lived after that, gaining more and more weight, consuming more and more so-called food. He then has the nerve to test his strength by consuming a whole container of Nutella in under 3 minutes. He actually might have gotten some Nutella in his lungs, but private investigators, also known as stalkers, have proved that this is not true. However, Hector Grant has recently proved that Joey simply doesn't have any Nutella inside of his lungs, but Joey does seem to have some sort of parasite-like thing inside of his lungs. To keep this PG, simply he has a lot of fat within his lungs, and it is not healthy, so therefore he must have some sort of surgery to get this removed, or else he will die. 3 weeks later, Joey's next surgery was a success. He had the fat removed from his lungs, and now he is considered not obese, although a lot of other doctors beg to differ, such as Amy Brent and James Subway. Joey, being addicted to food, ate the same amount of food that he had before, but watch out, Joey. This is at your own risk. Joey has actually proved another one of our theories that he isn't human. We notice that he is always in a van-like truck whenever he's eating his food, as to show right now what is on recording. We concluded that Joey is not actually consuming the food for energy. He's only doing it for his own pleasure. He actually consumes energy throughout the gasoline just like cars and vans do, and he must somehow be connected with the car or van. We must observe Joey more carefully, and until then, we will continue stalking, observing Joey of where he lives, and if he only spends his time in cars and eating food. And that just leads to Exhibit B. Joey always seems to be inside of a car, which means that he might eat gasoline, and we have been stalking some other food reviewers who also live in their cars for the most part, and they do seem to get some energy out of the gasoline because they never show themselves drinking the gasoline on camera. However, Joey and various other YouTubers who do this sort of weird thing are also known to go inside of houses, so we don't know if it's actually their houses. Notice of how Joey is always wearing a disguise-like hat and a weird old shirt that makes no sense for his disguise whenever he's actually outside of his car. That just goes to prove that Joey and these other food YouTubers are actually thieves. They go inside of houses, they steal their, quote, food while the people aren't there. They eat the food, but only they have disguises on, and then once they're done eating the food, they don't even clean up, so they leave traces of them behind. Speaking of breaking and entering, oddly enough, Joey is so big that he can almost never get out of his own car. So that just leads to make us wonder, how does Joey get in if he can't fit through the door? There are no windows that are larger than doors, and if there are, they're not on normal buildings. So therefore, Joey isn't human, and he teleports through the walls just so he can have his precious food that he deserves. Right here, he has some Nutella, and he's throwing up. And here he's having a burger, and he's making weird sound effects. Here are the sound effects played, so you can hear them better.
Oh my god. Gobble, gobble, gobble.
I apologize if that made any of the viewers throw up. And also, another thing just about Joey, just a side note. If you watch Joey, you are guaranteed to lose weight because you are so disgusted by the thought of food that you won't eat for days. Trust me, it happened to me and it worked. Joey pretty much threw his life away because he is becoming a somewhat rich and popular YouTuber right now. Just lives in a van, that's all. He just lives in a van. He doesn't bother actually buying a house or whatever. He goes into other people's houses to rob stuff. Joey sure is a smart guy, am I right? I think blubber might be the only thing inside of his head. And that just leads to Exhibit C. Joey doesn't seem to be quite human, but yet at the same time he looks very human-like, so you never know for sure. However, scientists like myself have concluded that he is indeed a subspecies of human. What that subspecies is, we have no idea. We're just going to call it the Joey for right now, but it basically contains being a food reviewer, eating lots of food on camera, not exercising, eating gasoline, being homeless, living in a van, and screaming and making weird sound effects. There are only a few people in this species that we actually know of, but we will now show you. We have narrowed it down to Joey and Big Chungus.
That'll hold 'em all white.
Yes, that is the Big Chungus we all know and love. We have connected Joey and Big Chungus together in many ways. For one, they're both fat, and they both seem to be pretty good at opening doors and somehow teleporting through places that, quote, hold them all white. To quote that one guy from Looney Tunes. I don't watch Looney Tunes, so I wouldn't know. But anyway, back to the documentary. Joey and Big Chungus are both fat. They both seem to be about the same size, and they're both big memes. So that's why we concluded this whole entire video is based around Joey and Big Chungus being the same thing. Thank you for watching, and we will soon make more documentaries someday if this video gets enough likes and stuff like that. See you next time.